Rasheeda, a wealthy businesswoman, thought everything was well until she discovered Jock's secret affair and the startling pregnancy that followed. Imagine learning that the father of your unborn child is not even your spouse. You read correctly. Rasheeda is responsible for Jock's child. After being kept under wraps, this news was shocking when it was finally made public. Rasheeda's husband, Kirk Frost, was unaware of Jock and Rasheeda's affair, but it shocked their whole world. At first he said, "Kill Jock." Yes, things quickly got serious. But the worst part was that Camila, a close friend of Jock's, had agenda. Since she informed him she had plans that would totally turn everything upside down, everything was flipped upside down once more. But this was only the beginning. When Kirk's anger grew and Jock's struggle for survival took center stage, things swiftly went out of hand, involving violence, treachery, and unexpected turns at every turn. Who will win today, and what will happen to Rasheeda's broken life? Stay tuned, for this story is far from over. The real question is whether Kirk will decide to mend his family or end his connection with Jock forever. Young Jock, a successful rapper, businessman, and general industry player, believed he had it all. Despite his prosperous business and lavish lifestyle, a storm was brewing behind the scenes that would radically upend his life. At the center of this chaos was Rasheeda, Kirk Frost's devoted wife, a social media sensation, a well-known personality in the business world, and an incredibly prosperous entrepreneur. That Rasheeda was pregnant, but the twist was that the father was young Jock rather than Kirk. A shocking affair that had been kept under wraps was suddenly revealed in a way that no one could have predicted, shocking and horrifying everyone. How could something like this happen? Rasheeda's life had been safe and stable until a single phone call, text, and whisper in her ear completely upended all she had worked so hard to achieve. But let's take a moment to consider how this happened. Jock, who is renowned for his charm and business acumen, has been keeping a secret for months. He believed that by hiding his relationship with Rasheeda, no one would find out. He thought he could handle it like he had so many other things in his life, but he didn't expect Kirk Frost, Rasheeda's husband, to become involved in this matter. Despite being married to Rasheeda for years and having a family and a life together, Kirk Frost was completely unprepared. You can only imagine his initial outrage upon Kirk's discovery. We're talking about a rage that was so intense and blinding that all he could say was, "Kill Jock." You heard right? Kirk Frost was facing the ultimate treachery, and all he had known and battled for was suddenly collapsing. While Kirk was filled with anger, Camila, a close friend of Jock's, wasn't just watching this unfold in silence. She was well aware of the dangers to herself and Jock, and she had her interests in mind. The cunning Camila had spotted a gap in the scandal and was keeping an eye out for her. More important than the affair itself was the fact that his supposed friend Jock had been keeping this information from him. Camila's involvement was anything but straightforward. She wasn't merely trying to assist Jock in escaping Kirk's rage. Rather, she was planning her actions and influencing the narrative to ensure that she was in control. However, it remained unclear what her true objective was: to protect Jock and his reputation, or to clear Rasheeda's name and deflect attention. Camila wasn't just a supporting actor. She was the one pulling the strings. As Kirk's rage boiled over, Camila started to change her plans because she knew that everything was going to blow up into something far bigger than anyone could have imagined. But no one, not even Jock, could have foreseen the full force of what was about to happen. Beyond just a verbal altercation, Kirk and Jock's confrontation was a bloody struggle of emotions, ego, and treachery. When Kirk finally stood up to Jock, it was more than just a warning. Jock was forced to pay for his actions during a full-scale assault and physical altercation that went beyond a simple phone dispute. Kirk, filled with hatred, let all of his pent-up emotions out by physically attacking Jock and threatening him in a terrible encounter that no one could have foreseen. A Jock who had experienced many highs and lows in his life suddenly found himself in a situation where his only priority was to survive this nightmare he had brought about with his music, notoriety, and wealth. Kirk was out for blood, and Camila was attempting to control everything from the shadows. Not to be overlooked, however, are the other individuals impacted by this mess. Rasheeda, the woman involved in this affair whose life hinged on learning. The truth had her identity, all she had battled for, now in doubt. Would she remain faithful to Jock, the man who had promised to protect her? Or would she stand by her husband Kirk, who had promised to do so, betrayed her but was also the father of her kid? As a result, Rasheeda's future choices would be closely watched. She needed to rebuild her life, her business, and her family. But how do you do that when the foundation has been destroyed by betrayal? Just when you thought things couldn't get much worse, they did. Unlike a VH1 reunion show, when the fight ended with a few punches and a dramatic walk-off. Kirk Frost and young Jock's struggle was personal. Kirk wasn't just angry, he was out for war. And Jock wasn't just physically hurt, not to support Jock, but to sow the seeds of his entire reputation being trampled underfoot. Dragged through the mud and served to the public with a side order to cancel him immediately. Camila, Jock's purported friend who claimed to have his back, flipped faster. Then a politician saw an opening and said, "Let me finesse this scandal like a pro." Kama's been working with Rasheeda's PR for months now. She knows if she gets out and the public turns on Rasheeda, it's over for all of them. She's cleaning house. So what did she do? Unidentified sources told Fake Tea Daily, turning the scandal into a soap opera. She went full-blown Olivia Pope with a twist of Mona Scott. She leaked a fake report claiming that Jock manipulated Rasheeda, saying he used emotional instability and Bizon's S. The public, meanwhile, was consuming like a Sunday brunch drama. Rasheeda and Jock Kirk were playing Uno while Camila was playing chess, and they were going to launch a massive attack. The memes were relentless, and young Jock had more drama than his hairstyles, as some people posted fake Kirk mug photographs with captions like "arrested for whooping Jock like a drum set." Others photoshopped Rasheeda's face onto her growing baby bulge. Another unnamed insider claiming to be Kirk Frost's barber's cousins. Uber driver says that Kirk Frost's anger only grew after the drama was made public. Jock came out against Kirk because the public wanted answers, not just rumors. Kirk was accused of going missing for 72 hours, locking his phone, skipping business meetings, and driving around Atlanta with a baseball bat in the trunk while muttering to himself, "Ain't nobody playing with me no more." The unimaginable live Instagram video was chosen to go ahead in spite of all the caution. "You don't know what I've been through." "Nobody's perfect," he screamed, breathless and obviously hurt. In less than 10 minutes, the internet was on fire. In addition to casting Rasheeda in a negative light, he also verified the pregnancy and gave the impression that Rasheeda was his heir. He left with Camila after she entered the stage. Was this a dispute regarding Jock's actual voice? In an attempt to minimize the harm, she quickly posted a phony audio recording on blogs in which a man who sounded like Jock asserted, "I got her pregnant on purpose. That's how I stay in the family money." It was probably untrue, but the internet didn't care. Narratives such as Rasheeda, pregnant by Jock, Kirk goes berserk, and Urban Daily trash young Jock tried to trap Rasheeda Camila, spilling the tea without any filter, are making waves online. It's made the war even more enigmatic to Rasheeda's womb. Drama Insider. Additionally, backdoor sources claim that she was staying at a private wellness retreat in the hills, most likely at the invitation of Camila and her crisis team. But nobody knew Rasheeda was hiding from Kirk and the media when the altercation with Jock Kirk was made public. As Camila's power increased, she started meeting behind closed doors with Rasheeda's business partners to discuss sponsorships and secretly clean Rasheeda's house. According to one source, Kirk has been acting like a whole reality TV detective, pulling receipts from 2019 and even asking if the baby could be his, like he forgot how time works. Friends of the pair described him as unstable, obsessive, and obsessed, saying he has been snooping through her correspondence. questioning her every move and even setting up cameras in their home. She even persuaded Rasheeda's staff to release a fictitious statement, stating that due to persistent stress and personal problems, Rasheeda would be taking a brief leave of absence to focus on her health, family, and spiritual peace. In other words, we are hiding until the fire is out. But keep in mind that it is not yet complete. That Kirk hired a private detective when he was still in decline. As if this were an episode of Law & Order, ATL scandal. He was indeed prepared to start subpoenaing people. Until then, the PI's mission was to follow Jock despite his own defensive strategy, to make sure the baby was his and to find out whether he was paying off anyone. The city began to buzz with stories that Jock would sue Kirk for assault. Rasheeda would support him, and would now be responsible for the entire circus as legal threats flew. He had partnered with Lisa Gray, a strong attorney who, in the year when Love and Hip Hop gained notoriety, cleared a cast member of a six-figure fraud charge and a pyramid scheme. The public was split, and fans took sides like it was Infinity War Atlanta edition. In an exclusive, Camila made yet another startling revelation. The situation was ended. Camila, the mastermind behind the scenes. Rasheeda, who remained silent while chaos broke out in her name. Kirk, who lost it and became a WWE jock. Even the messy secret father were all unable to be identified as the real culprit. The city shook when Camila pulled the pin on a grenade that threatened to detonate the entire scandal. Those hacked emails weren't a fake because she had actual files, audio screenshots, and even CCTV footage from Jock's studio in one file. We were provided the receipts. When Camila contacted a major podcast network, she claimed to have hours of unpublished audio text screenshots and video recordings that might prove Rasheeda's identity and destroy Jock's career forever. Young Jock was observed pacing back and forth and muttering, "I had to do what I had to do. Rasheeda isn't going to say anything." Yes, Camila knew that Jock had just given his enemies the golden ticket, but she would remain silent if she understood what was best for her. She set up a live press conference with a podium, lighting, actual chairs, and all the drama, and the entire globe watched. Whether they like it or not, I will be honest about the 3 shocking revelations she made. Rasheeda confided in Camila during a difficult time in her marriage, and Jock used that to get close to Kirk while he was being watched. Rasheeda was emotionally vulnerable, and Camila revealed texts in which Jock guilt-tripped her, saying things like, "You owe me this, Rasheeda. I kept your secrets before." It was strange when admitted to bugging Kirk's office. Indeed, she possessed recordings of Kirk shouting, planning to ambush Jock, and even trying to buy silence from one of Jock's former lovers. The world fell into anarchy. Podcasts uploaded 5 emergency episodes overnight. Blogs failed due to volume, and Twitter became a digital wildfire. A villain like Camila might have been necessary. Surpasses Jock versus Kirk, is responsible. For this city, Rasheeda would be well advised to speak up next. When it seemed like there was nothing more crazy that could happen, in a 3-minute video posted to her Facebook page, Rasheeda said, "I was hurt, I was betrayed, and yes, I made mistakes. But I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not protecting anyone but myself and my future." She merely said everyone in this mess showed their true colors now, without disputing that Jock was the father, defending Kirk's cruelty, or applauding Kama's cunning. "I never thought my personal choices would become a circus. I'm boasting." When she turned off the video, the internet went down. But let's be clear, that was just the beginning of the final round and not the end of the fight. Jock's camp was in ruins within 30 minutes of Rasheeda's video, with sponsors he had worked with deserting him and Camila, Kirk threatening to prosecute him. It appeared as though his joint posts were being removed in real time when they were all removed by another brand. However, Jock wasn't finished yet, since he returned with a letter asking that, in the letter, accused her of breaking recording laws, publicly defaming him, and damaging his reputation in the business. if Kama didn't take back all he had, said the jock threatened to sue him for $2 million. Kama laughed and went live again. Let him try. I got more dirt. If he sues me, I'll leak everything. Jock better thank me I didn't expose his other baby mama drama, Kama added. In the meantime, Kirk was dealing with his own problems. His incapacity to manage his rage had been revealed. The audience's response was op. Rasheeda's video further presented Kirk as being at least as poisonous as Jock, in addition to the fact that the video of him threatening Jock went viral. Jock's lawyer hinted at the possibility of a restraining order, which the man who had yelled, "Kill Jock," was now facing, in addition to criticism and business losses. Kirk's last resort, however, was to publicly apologize in a lengthy handwritten letter that resembled the screenplay for a Lifetime film. To my wife Rasheeda, I failed you and Jock. Though I cannot forgive you, I acknowledge my wrongs. I cannot forgive you. By now, Kirk was known as the ticking time bomb spouse, and the public wasn't buying it. He even shared a picture of himself sitting in treatment with the caption, "Healing begins now." Everyone assumed Camila was sharing one of her personal secrets, but a former aide disclosed that Camila wasn't just protecting Rasheeda. She also wanted Jock to step aside since she was under contract with a rival with whom Jock had a falling out, and she had been intensifying their dispute over blogger payments. To make matters worse, Camila still had feelings for Jock, whom she had dated years before. When the roles were reversed, the media revealed that it was not a hero who had started the fire, but Camila Rasheeda, a bitter former Kirk jock. Instead of hip-hop and love, it's love and hit jobs. Camila's credibility was suddenly destroyed. She was unfollowed by Rasheeda, and the firms she had collaborated with ceased to invite her to their programs. Jock is reportedly trying to rehabilitate legally and psychologically in an undisclosed location after going missing. Despite his commitment to therapy, Kirk remains vulnerable. A devastated throne queen, Camila is reportedly focusing on her pregnancy and future while apparently avoiding the spotlight permanently, Kama said. Silence is louder than any live video without saying a word. We now have a polarized fan base, 3 broken friendships, a destroyed business circle, and a kid on the way. We learned to be faithful and leave this area if this issue taught us anything. Now is your time to speak. Was Rasheeda right to remain silent during the entire situation? Was Kama only retaliating by pulling the strings? Did everyone still have lips? Was Kama playing a long-standing game to get rid of everyone at once? Or was it a horrible mess of individual choices? But one thing is for sure, nobody will leave this clean. If you want more absurd celebrity stories, strange scandals, and the truth that no one else is willing to share, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell. What follows will blow everything away, I assure. How is young Jock doing? Was he the mastermind or a victim? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below.